Yes, it's an episode number 3 and finally we would be practicing the Surya Namaskar in this video. So without any further ado, let's quickly get started. When I started with my yoga journey, my institution had taught me Surya Namaskar in a different manner, and I since last 11 years have been practicing Surya Namaskar in a similar way. There are different people who have introduced different types of Surya Namaskar. A few are 10 steps, a few are 12 steps. I had learned 10 steps Surya Namaskar in school, which I actually don't remember. Then after that, when I started doing yoga teachers training course, they were 12 steps Hatha Surya Namaskar, which I used to practice since last 11 years. And once I started interacting with the yoga community, with different people in this community, I realized that they do the same Surya Namaskar in a little different manner. What is this different manner? So there is not a huge difference in it. It just like if the Surya Namaskar I do has 6 asanas in it, the Surya Namaskar they do has 7 asanas in it, and so that you have one added asana in this type of Surya Namaskar. Secondly, this has a different way of doing some asanas and this adopts a different way of doing some asanas. Otherwise the cycle is completely the same. There is no major difference in it, right? So I verbally explaining it to you would not make you clear in these aspects. We can we would just see this further in the video. It's fine if you are falling in the category of doing Surya Namaskar wrongly. It's nothing wrong. It's just that you need to improvise on your mistakes so that you can further incorporate the changes and make it correct. That's it. Okay, so without any further ado, let's quickly get started. Let's start with type 1 Surya Namaskar. We will start with Namaskar Asana. Join your feet together, place your palms together. You can keep some space between your fingers, your wrist and elbows align, and we will go for a chin lock. From there, taking your palms down, we will take them up straight to Tadasana and give a good arc to your dorsal and your lumbar spine. If that's not possible and if you have backache problem, then you will stay in Tadasana instead of giving an arc. Now place your palms down besides your feet. It's very important, and try touching your chin and your forehead down. So your chin will touch your knee and your forehead will go down. Spine stays extended. Now if you can't touch your palms down, you can definitely bend your knees. Bend your legs from the knees. Now place slowly, we will take right foot behind and go to Ekpad Prasaranasana, pushing your hip down and giving a good stretch to your thighs. Taking another foot behind, we will go for Chatushkonasana. We will try to take our heels closer to the mat and hip behind and keeping our spine extended. Your head stays in between your biceps and triceps. Now slowly touch your knee, take your chest forward and then your forehead down. So your chest will come before your palms. This is Ashtang Pranipadasana. Flattening your feet, slowly try taking up your torso, only your torso. You're not going to do Sarpasana and you would not take hand support if possible. From there, engaging your core, we will go up to Chatushkonasana and we will try to stay here for a few moments. Take your right foot forward. As shown in the previous video, you can definitely take help of your right hand to take it forward, or you can go from Marjariyasana also. Take your left foot forward, going to Padahastasana. Slowly take your palms and biceps, triceps touching your ears. Slowly up to Hasta Uttanasana. And then we will go down to Namaskar-asana. Now moving ahead with the type 2 Surya Namaskar. Very few changes. We will go for Namaskar-asana again in the similar manner. There are no changes. From there, we will go for Hasta Uttanasana, for which you are supposed to take your palms down, inhale and raise your hands up in Tadasana, and then give a good arc. If you feel you can't give an arc, again as I mentioned before, you can stand in Tadasana instead of giving an arc to your spine. Slowly try going down, maintaining the alignments, your hip and your heel in a single line. Place your palms down and try touching your chin and your forehead down for Padahastasana. If you can't, you can bend your legs from the knees. It's absolutely fine, but place your palms besides your feet. That's very important. We go for Anjaneya Asana in the similar manner, taking your right leg behind and stretching it from the thighs and pushing your hip down. Now From here we will take our left leg behind and we will place it together and go for Falakasana, that is plank pose. Here you are supposed to engage your core and make a straight line from your hip and your shoulder. Now we go for Ashtang Pranipadasana in the similar manner as we did before. From there we will go for Bhujangasana. Over here you can take slight support of your hands and lift up a little bit more from the torso. That's fine. Now from there we would go to Chatushkonasana. Again, try keeping your head in line with your biceps and your triceps. Bring your right leg forward this time in Ekpadakarshanasana or Anjaneya Asana. You can also go on your fingertips instead of placing your palms completely down. Now going for Padahastasana. Slowly inhale, raise your hands up in Hasta Uttanasana. And then we will again go for Namaskar-asana. Now where do generally people go wrong in Surya Namaskar? Namaskar-asana, they just simply place their hands anywhere and go for Namaskar-asana, not keeping their wrist and elbows in line. Hasta Uttanasana, this way they bend their knee and give an arc that is not acceptable. Anyhow, they take their hands down and place them exactly in front of the feet instead of besides the feet. Now, when they keep their palms in front of the feet, obviously what will happen is when they take their right leg behind, there would not be a 90-degree angle maintained between the heel and the knee will unnaturally go forward, which can create pressure on the knees also. In Falakasana, not engaging core and just having a spinal lordosis and just giving this kind of a lethargic posture is very common in Falakasana. So basically your upper body is dipped down and it moreover looks like Bhujangasana or the flying Bhujangasana kind of a thing. Shoulders are tensed and your head is also not relaxed or neck is also not relaxed. Now going for Ashtang Pranipadasana, a lot of people place their chest behind their palms and then from there they go for Sarpasana. A lot of people also in Ashtang Pranipadasana keep their hip very, very high, placing their shoulders exactly in line with their palms. That is not acceptable. You need to place your chest in front of your palms instead of your shoulders in line with your palms. So once you do that, you will go for Bhujangasana, and for Bhujangasana, they instead of going for Bhujangasana, they raise their upper body so much that they go in Sarpasana. And that also in Sarpasana, they keep their shoulders tensed, they look up and their elbows are hyper extended. So Chatushkonasana, they anyhow cannot achieve Chatushkonasana properly because of the improper distance, so they keep on moving their feet and their palm. Moving your palms in Surya Namaskar is not allowed. You should keep your palms in the same position till you come or till you complete the whole cycle. Now again, because the measurement were incorrectly done, you will take your right leg forward. This time also your knee will go beyond your toes, so over your toes. So that is not acceptable. If the knee go over the toe and if you keep on repeating this for n number of times, then there are chances of having knee pain, which again would create problems in you only. Now once again, they will anyhow take their palms up and palms would be loosely placed, hands will be loosely placed, and they will go for Namaskar-asana. So don't take all these things casually. It's kind of a prayer to sun god, so we need to be disciplined. Plus, if you repeat these things wrong for 108 times, or each and every asana you repeat in the cycle is like almost twice. So if you do it 50 times, then you are repeating each asana for 100 times. So 100 times you go wrong, and by going wrong 100 times, I'm 100% sure that definitely it will create injuries in your body. So instead of impacting positively, Surya Namaskar may go negative in your case if you're not taking care of your alignments the way I have showed in the video. So be careful. You are taking care of the alignments. In case if you are also doing anything wrong, it can be a single step going wrong, you can definitely improvise and improve yourself. Keep some scope of improvement every time you do Surya Namaskar. I hope you enjoyed both the techniques of doing Surya Namaskar, and I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you found out your mistakes from this video, and I'm sure that you will change those mistakes so that you do not get injured badly in long term, right? So with this we end our third episode of the series. Next time we will be blending the pranayam aspect or the breathing aspect into the Surya Namaskar in both the types of Surya Namaskar. So stay tuned with us. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye.